Hi guys, this is gsno.com and I'm here with the unboxing, a mini review, hands-on review of the Xiaomi Mix 4. A phone which will probably not be sold in many parts of the world. It's more of a proof of concept related to the fact that Xiaomi can now put cameras under the screen. Okay, so it arrived in August this year. It's a special edition as shown by its black box, and you can definitely buy it in China, where it's priced at around 660 euros. It does have some features which could be associated to a flagship. It's got a periscope camera here. It has a huge 108 megapixel main camera, 120 watt charging, quite a hefty body, ceramic backside, and of course the under display camera, plus curved edges, which apparently aren't a trend nowadays. More phone makers are going back to flat screens. Okay, so first and foremost, the device is sold in three colors: ceramic black, ceramic white, and shadow gray. Obviously we have the ceramic black version here, and it feels like the Xiaomi Mi 11 Ultra, but cutting out the whole second screen thing. And as you can see, the screen is quite immersive on account of not having a punch hole or a notch, as the selfie camera, as I keep saying, is hidden under the screen. Okay, this is the panel, and now let's proceed inside the box, see what we're getting from Xiaomi this time around. Here we have a case, as it's promised on the package. And also a bunch of manuals and useful instructions. They're in Chinese. Okay. And this is the case, transparent and flexible with a large cutout for the back camera, as it should. And then we have the adapter, which is quite heavy, possibly the heaviest accessory I've held in a while. However, having recently played with the Xiaomi 11T Pro, I know exactly what a 120 watt charger should look like. These two prongs go inside a special adapter in Europe, and this baby is supposed to bring the device at 100% in just 15 minutes. At least that's what it says on paper, which sounds pretty cool in my book. USB-A connector, and we go on with the unboxing. Here we have, or we're trying to get, an USB cable from USB-C to USB-A. Also a metal key, which you can see here to access the slots, and an adapter from USB-C to 3.5mm, as we don't have an audio jack here, but we may want to connect our older headphones. Now let's clean this up and return to the start of the show, the device. Also check out this interesting system of putting the prongs here. They could have drilled two holes in the bottom of the box, but no, instead they decided to go like this, which is kind of cool. Okay, now the phone you're seeing here has to be the first Xiaomi Snapdragon 888 Plus handset, which is kind of strange. This premiere has been disputed by a few companies. There was the iQ8, there was the Honor Magic 3, and Asus ROG 5S, ROG Phone 5S. They all disputed the premiere of the Snapdragon 888, while Xiaomi will probably have the premiere of the 898. Okay, so we're pretty much done with the unboxing aspect. Let's go to the, as I call it, mini review of the device. Let's talk about the design. I covered the colors already. Now we're dealing here with Gorilla Glass Victus at the front side that was protecting this glass panel. The device has IP53 certification, which means it's dust and splash protected. It measures 8mm in thickness, although that probably grows by at least 1mm or more with a camera protrusion. Weighs a hefty 225 grams. It's top heavy like the Mi 11 Ultra was, and has a ceramic back and an aluminum frame between the two parts. Curved backside for improved grip, and curved front side, but not waterfall style curved, so at least that's nice. The top side and bottom are also slightly curved, and I would say it's decently comfy device, which comes with a mirror finishing, so you can properly reflect yourself on it. Be advised, you'll clean it all the time, so best use the case. And the camera implementation is pretty discreet. You are not seeing it here, but if you zoom closely, you'll see that there's a cutout in the screen protector, I mean the plastic one on top of the screen. Now you can start seeing it. That's the only trace you'll see of the under display selfie camera. Possibly the best implementation I've seen so far, having played with the ZTE Axon 20 and the Galaxy Z Fold 3, the only under display phones and the display camera phones I've seen so far. Okay, let's turn up the brightness a little bit and now talk about other aspects. The screen you're seeing here, well, this one is a AMOLED panel, which you probably guessed already. It's a 6.67 inch screen with a Full HD Plus resolution. It's able to show 1 billion colors, has 120 Hz refresh rate, Dolby Vision support, HDR10+, and a promise of up to 800 nits. Now, as far as I know, we should have activated the faster, yes, refresh rate. It's 120 Hz. From the factory it was set to 60 Hz in order to save battery. And this is a pretty solid panel. I measured the brightness and it's 621 lux units, one of the brightest Xiaomi phones this year. Definitely brighter than some of the flagships out there. For example, it surpasses the entire Galaxy S20 series and even some S21 models. Now, if you want to go inside, you can go here. We have a special area that shows you the specs. So my device and all specs. We have here a CPU which is mentioned as octa-core 3 GHz. It's actually the Snapdragon 888 Plus, 5 nanometer. It's accompanied by 12 gigs of LPDDR5 RAM and 256 gigabytes of UFS 3.1 storage. And we don't have a micro SD, just so you know. We also don't have lag. I ran Asphalt 9 without a problem and even installed Apex Legends with a VPN, but it didn't work as fine as I would have wanted to be. It's in alpha still or beta or who knows. There was some overheating here and there which happened in benchmarks rather than games. We have here the screenshots, and I didn't perform any benchmarks because this is not a very commercial and final version. As you can see, 3D Mark Snapshot Extreme Vulkan maxed out. Also this one here, this is the PC Mark 3.0, which doesn't have a very impressive score. It's actually below the Xiaomi Mi 11 Ultra. This one is a bit better, but still catching up to the top 10. And this is the Antutu 9, keep in mind 9, not 8, with a pretty impressive score, close to 800k points. This is the Antutu 8 score we achieved, not that impressive. It's placed on the 10th spot in our hierarchy and I've seen better than this. And I also noticed some tendency of heating here. You can see the temperature of the battery is 42 degrees Celsius and the CPU 49 degrees Celsius immediately after the benchmark is performed. Now, as far as the battery is concerned, it's a 4500 mAh unit which charges in only 15 minutes, courtesy of the 120 watt charger on board. And for wireless, it charges in 28 minutes thanks to the 50 watt wireless charging. Now, we also did a PC Mark test, and here it is. It's quite impressive. This is continuous usage, at least on paper. This is a theoretical test. 13 hours and 21 minutes. It's definitely surpassing some of those Snapdragon 888 flagships that have problems with battery life. It's better than the Xiaomi Mi 11 Ultra, the Mi 11 regular one, and the Galaxy S21 Ultra by 2 hours, so that's fine. On the connectivity front, we have quite a few things to report back home. We got Wi-Fi 6E, basically the best of the best. We got 5G, we also have ultra-wide band. There's Bluetooth 5.2, GPS dual band, NFC. You can see an infrared emitter here at the top side to control your gadgets around the home. And yes, I can confirm the whole NFC thing. And at the bottom, there's an USB-C 2.0 port. For security, we have a fingerprint scanner, an optical one in the screen here, and let's actually put it to the test. You just saw it being pretty snappy. And for music, we have a stereo setup. There's an inscription here. It's actually Harman Kardon tuning. And I blasted some tunes towards a mate of mine who has a Galaxy S20 Ultra, and he admitted defeat on account of this having a fantastic bass. Stereo speakers, so the top one is accompanied by the bottom one here with Harman Kardon acoustics. Now, as far as the camera is concerned, I'll switch to a white background again. You can't see it, but it's here. It's a 20 megapixel shooter under the screen. At the back side, we have a triple camera with a huge lens for the 108 megapixel shooter, f1.9 aperture. It also has optical image stabilization, laser focus, and dual pixel phase detection autofocus. And then we have here the 8 megapixel periscope telephoto 5x optical zoom camera with its own optical image stabilization, and then the ultra wide 13 megapixel shooter here. There's the dual LED flash here and some extra sensors. This camera shoots in 8K at 24 frames per second and does a maximum level of zoom of 50x, digital of course. Now the camera interface is nothing you haven't seen before. It's minimalistic, white text on a black background. The core modes are here. We got vlog, we got sticker avatars, long exposure, 108 megapixel, documents, time-lapse, air, watermark, night, panorama, slow-mo, and those cool movie effects, which have received a lot of love on the Mi 11 series. We have an AI feature. This is the video area, and you can see the 8K filming. Aside from 4K at, well, 60 frames, you can do 8K in 24, well, just 24, not 30. This is the Pro mode with a lot of extras, full 100 megapixel shots, exposure, ISO, shutter, focus, and white balance. Here we have the gallery, which includes a ton of shots, a total of, well, let's see, 249. Pretty impressive. Okay, so I'll break it down for you. I'm going to start with the selfies. Those were taken on my balcony on a very sunny day, and they look pretty nice indoors, but not as many details as you'd expect for a 20 megapixel camera. They're pretty bright, have to admit, and first impression is that they're not very mind-blowing, so to say, but at the same time they're a bit clearer than what we've seen on the ZT Axon 20 and also on the for example, Galaxy Z Fold 3. Those are the only two comparison terms we have right now and the only ones we've reviewed so far. This is actually a pretty good portrait shot, but these aren't very relevant. What's relevant is the moment when you get outside and take these selfies. Now, these are a bit more underwhelming. When the situation is very sunny, you'll notice that there's sort of a white mist behind me. So those kids, for example, are totally artifacted. They're like Stranger Things, but the face is pretty well kept in focus and I would say decently detailed. It's definitely better than the ZT Axon 20, but I would say at most on par with the Galaxy Z Fold 3. That's the best it can hope for. I mean, you can post them on social media, but they don't hold a candle to nowadays flagship selfie cameras. This is one of the better ones. And this is an interesting feature. The Galaxy Z Fold 3 can handle selfies in stronger light. This one performs better when there's less light in the shade. Now, as far as the back camera is concerned, the photos are very vivid, very crisp, very detailed, and the colors are a bit overblown. This is definitely red. This is not pink, as is shown here, so some hues may change, but at least the ultra-wide camera doesn't deform the colors too much compared to the main camera. We have a wide array of shots, impressive portraits, and basically we have the same behavior as the Xiaomi Mi 11 Ultra. We even tried our hand at some macros, even though we don't have that feature. Nowadays, the ultra-wide camera sometimes serves for macros. And of course, we tested the Periscope zoom camera. Things look impressive up to 5x, maybe even 10x, but afterwards it's all pixels. More shots here, impressive blue hues. We also taken 108 megapixel shots, and those are daytime shots. These are the nighttime ones. I would say that the regular camera shots are more impressive than the nighttime ones. The ones with the night mode activated are a bit yellowish. That's what happened several times in a row. Regular shot, night mode shot, they become a bit more yellow. Perhaps that's supposed to be the natural calibration that we get here. I mean, the colors are fine. I actually think they're better than during the daytime when it comes to realism. So regular shot and nighttime shot, that's pretty much it. I'll say it again. The results should be on par with the Xiaomi Mi 11 Ultra. That's what you're getting here. So these have been photos, a quick glance at the videos, not much to see here. Let's actually try and find the dedicated video player. Okay. These are the folders, and this is probably one of the most relevant ones. Not something I expected. It takes a bit longer than I wanted to focus properly and alternate focus between the foreground and the background. Expect it to be more snappier, especially since it's using a Samsung sensor. Let's try something with more colors. Okay, so we have this video here. It's brightly colored, a lot of details, and basically on par with any other flagships on the market. Nice exposure, by the way. Only the sky can look a bit off in some of the other captures, not this one. The colors are actually better in the video compared to the photos, to be honest. Okay, this one, and this is a stabilization test which was passed with flying colors. Absolutely no problem with stabilization when walking around, so that's a big plus. And that's pretty much it. This is a mini review and a hands-on review of the device, having just been unboxed, and I've spent about 2 days with it, so it's not as detailed as I would have wanted it to be, but it's also not being sold all over the world. If you want to cover the software area, this is Android 11 with MIUI 12.5 on top. Here's the China version. Some of the parts of the software are in Chinese. We don't have the Play Store, we don't have the Google services, but we do have a lot of others installed here. You know the drill. We got the control center here, inspired by iOS. We got the notifications here, and we got the app drawer, or we should have the app drawer. I know, I definitely enabled it. We also have those cool super wallpapers, and we also have a dark mode and an always on display. And just as a quick memento, I also did a speed test here, and let's see how it went down. These are the results: up to 709 megapsecond download and 881 megapsecond in upload on a Wi-Fi 6 router. Okay, so I think we've covered basically everything about this experimental phone, the Xiaomi Mi Mix 4. Its biggest achievement, without the Mi, Xiaomi Mix 4. Its biggest achievement is properly being able to hide the under-display selfie camera. And at the same time taking some decent selfies compared to other under-display camera phones. It has the ceramic back going for it, it has the looks, it has a strong zoom and a powerful main camera. It's pretty much, I would say, 85% of the experience of the Xiaomi Mi 11 Ultra with a newer CPU and that experimental new feature which will probably evolve in the future. So this has been the presentation of the Xiaomi Mix 4. We'll be back with more soon. Bye bye.